Now, we're going to come to the next slide, and I'm glad that everyone's still awake because it's going to galvanize your attention. And for this, I'm going to turn it over to our Chief Financial Advisor, Mr. Solomon, to say a few more things about this.
Good luck. When you talk about pricing and prices, it's always funny. I have a 10-year-old, 11 now, at home. And when he was younger, he used to say, "Dad, I wish that Ferraris only cost a penny." And I said, "Well, then how many Ferraris do you think there'd be in the world?" And he said, "Well, everybody would have a Ferrari." That was when he was 5 or 6. Now, I say, "You used to tell me that if Ferraris were only a penny, that would be great. Then everybody would have a Ferrari." He says, "Oh, Dad, forget it. Nobody would have a Ferrari because who would get paid to make the Ferraris? And how would they buy the tires? And how would they buy them?" So he's figuring it out. May I ask you to please turn to the next slide? What we wanted to show you here is an estimate of what you as a family might be expected to pay in terms of out-of-pocket cost or private pay for a JHI resident. Now, remember what I mentioned when I was up here before is that the sweet spot that we've picked out with JHI is we want to make sure that you're able to receive all the services that you possibly can that are funded by the state, while recognizing that they can't do everything. So we recognize that it takes a whole community, a whole lot of organizations to supply the kind of services that we need. So once you have, and we will help you find and manage your ILS provider, for example, which is regional center funded, then these are the sorts of expenses that you would expect to have on an ongoing basis. So for example, the first thing is a fee to Etta Israel Center. Thanks to the grant from the foundation, we are able to offer that on a sliding scale basis. As Dr. Held said before, you would also expect to pay the rent for an apartment. Or if it's a private apartment, then you would have to pay for the whole thing. A roommate, you'd split it. More roommates, you could split it some more. We're just estimating here an apartment, say in the Pico area, might cost somewhere between $1,400 and $2,000 a month. Could cost more, could cost less, depends. Depends on what you would like and what fits the needs of the individual. Food, utilities, cable, internet, all of the things that people have in apartments. Those are additional expenses. So you can see here that we have a range of monthly out-of-pocket expenses, somewhere between $2,300 and $3,600 a month as we imagine it. Now, of course, there will be offsets to this as well. So some people who work, they might offset the whole thing and more with their salaries, with the wages that they earn. Others might be completely dependent on, say, Social Security, which is, I think, $845 a month, which will help to offset some of these expenses as well. So the experience will vary for each individual. But we wanted to give you a sense of what we're talking about and what's realistic to expect for in order to ensure the a kind of independent lifestyle and help a special needs individual develop the kind of skills and independence that he or she needs that you can feel comfortable knowing that they can take care of themselves as time goes on. So I hope this gives you some sense of the kind of scale that we're talking about. Please.
A quick question. Before you were talking about a model of six young adults to a home, or some kind of, is that what that is based on? Having six or no?
No, so the 6 people in a home is for a group home.
Okay.
That's for the group homes, and Etta Israel has some group homes.
Okay.
But no, this is assuming a private apartment that you would rent
With one other room.
with maybe one other roommate. That's what this is assuming. There could potentially be other roommates as well.